Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for joining us. So, who's the next Philly in the Philippines? That seems to be the question that's been put around and jostled around here in Angeles City YouTube community. And I'm not sure that's even really the right description, but is it going to be Ace Bachelor Cool? Is it going to be Chubs Dc? Is it Andy Omar? Is it, well, you know what? There's a whole list of them, and they're all different. So let's take a minute to talk about it. How's that?
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
So, look, I know all of these bloggers, and you should know that up front. And I'm going to talk about other bloggers besides just those that are question of whether they're the next representation of Angeles City. And is that what it is, first off? First off, let's define what it is. The next king of Angeles City YouTubers. That's the question that's been thrown out there. And that seems to me a little bit strange because each one of those people are all different. They're all different from Philly. And in fact, they just haven't reached that point, or they're not going that direction, or it doesn't interest them. And is it relevant to what it is? I don't think there's ever going to be another Philly in the Philippines because it's an evolutionary issue. Okay. But when it comes down to who's what, all right. I mean, I don't even know what word to use in Angeles City. Maybe in the comments below, you can tell us. Also, perhaps, maybe if you find our blogs informative, if you want to support the efforts that we put forward, hey, please do subscribe and hit that thumbs up. I had to throw that in. Now, Philly in the Philippines. I've watched Brian, and I do know Brian. All bias aside, Brian has covered everything, everything. And yeah, he does a lot of walk and talk around Walking Street and Fields Avenue, perhaps because that's where most expats and visitors and foreigners, a lot of them pass through. They don't make it a point to stay there, but they pass through there, right? Yes, he does. He did years ago hotels, and he did restaurants, and he did travel. All right, he's done all those things. With that being said, who replaces all of that? You've got Chubs Dc, really nice guy, and I'm going to tell you something right now. All right. All of these bloggers, including us, are all very approachable. I've never seen or been around any of them that saw somebody come up and they ignore them or won't talk to them or anything like that. So they're all approachable. But let's take a look at some of the others. You've got Chubs Dc, very nice guy. And he has currently, and I hope, it's a great long-term relationship with his partner, Ann. Very nice guy. All right. Level-headed, very calm, very approachable. And they do hotels, they do restaurants, they do all kinds of stuff. All right. Are they up and down Walking Street? I think maybe we should define that also. There's a big difference between daytime Walking Street bloggers and nighttime walking street vloggers. All right. And Chubs, they're because of Ann's work and because of their life, sure, they're up and down walking street often during the day. And at night, even so, that also. But they're not walking it. They're there for a specific reason. So, he's got good growth, solid guy, nice guy. All right. Then you've got people like, say, Ace Bachelor Cool. Ace is synonymous with the single guy lifestyle for Angeles City. And that's probably a pretty good thing to be, because you don't see many married foreign couples coming to Angeles City. You see some, don't get me wrong. You see some that have ties here, relatives here, something that ties them to the area and they're here to visit, and some that are even moving, like one of our subscribers, Ruby, and her husband. But, they don't live on Walking Street. And Ace can give you tons of information as a single guy, and very approachable. I know Ace, run into him multiple times, multiple places. In fact, Ace has actually been right here, sitting in this chair before at our place. So, I mean, they're all very nice folks. And you've got Andy Omar. Andy, been around for years, knows a ton. Again, a single guy, but he's not big into some of the other stuff. Andy, Andy is Andy, and that's just all there is to it. But very nice guy. All right, nothing different about it. You've got people like Leon at It's My Life. Leon's channel, somewhat controversial, somewhat a nuisance blogger at times, not all the time by any way, shape, or means. And, he walks around Walking Street, and he walks up and down and does nightlife on Walking Street. I've only met Leon once, and it was a very cordial, short conversation. You've got other people. But what is it about Angeles? Shouldn't Angeles be represented by more than just Walking Street? Shouldn't Angeles be represented for somebody to claim that they are a prominent Angeles City YouTuber is one thing. For them to make their spot based on subscribers, views, watch time, all of those comments, all of those things, that's one thing. It's another thing to sit there and say, who actually portrays Angeles City? We all know what Angeles City is synonymous with, okay? And so if you don't watch this video, the whole video, then your comments are going to be off, all right? Because you won't get to this part. And that part is, what else is there that a prominent YouTuber in Angeles City should represent? It should represent all the different things. It should represent the restaurants. It should represent some hotels. It should represent real estate. It should represent different stores, the malls, all of the things that go along with that. It should represent the ongoing growth, because while the vast majority of Angeles City is tourist based, there's a huge expat community here, and a huge expat community that comes and is looking to move possibly here. And with that being said, they need to know about Clark. They need to know about new developments. They need to know about what's happening with the infrastructure. And they need to know about how to navigate and get around Angeles City. So with all of those things being said, I mean, there are other great, and I don't want to leave people out. I mean, there are other channels that do a bang up job of what they do. There's Philippine Antics, all right? They talk about Angeles City. They have other interests as well, all right? They started out as a help resource, and they still continue to do that. But their main focus lately is in a different direction, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? There is IRL Media. Again, another nighttime. There's Tom Yum Lechon. There are other bloggers, all right? But who covers all of these things? Who goes to all of these places? Who flits around? Because even Philly, he's centered in about 3 or 4 different directions, not all of them. So my question would be, can anybody cover it all? And is it of interest to everybody, or shouldn't it be of interest to everybody? I think that's what's more reasonable. We're not in the, we have no desire to be up there. YouTube is a hobby for us, and we don't cater specifically to certain things. But with all of that being said, who really represents Angeles City at its worst and finest on video? It has to be both. It can't be just one. It can't be just the bars. It can't be just the restaurants. It has to be everything. Who represents Angeles City best in that way? Why don't you tell us what you think? That would be interesting. I would guess it would be interesting. I don't want to do a poll because polls are highly biased on the fact that your subscribers are the ones that are seeing the poll posted more than anybody else. So it's biased. So we'll put this out there, and this will be biased as well, I'm sure. But who do you think? Ace is claiming he is the number one now. He is going to be the number one, and he's given his reasons. Philly is making up his mind as to who do you think is going to replace him when they move to the province. I don't think you'll ever, Philly's title is Philly in the Philippines. It's not Philly in Angeles. It's Philly in the Philippines. He's just moving from the city to the province. He'll still be Philly in the Philippines, just in a different location with a different view. I kind of think it's no change at all, to be honest with you. But we'll see. Let us know what you think. We hope you have a great day. Thanks.